Ladies and gentlemen, the dust has settled and the season is officially over and we have brand new NBA champions, and I think a lot of people expected the NBA champions to reign supreme this season in one of the most difficult and overwhelming circumstances that they've ever faced. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the NBA Finals and let's talk about the reigning NBA champions as of today. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aiden Sports Show and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be discussing the current NBA champions, and of course how did they overcome a lot of circumstances that made this one of the most difficult NBA championships to win. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aiden Sports Show YouTube channel, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below what was your favorite matchup out of this entire playoffs and how do you feel about the NBA champions being crowned. And of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the team that did win the NBA championship was the Los Angeles Lakers. Lebron James and Anthony Davis have secured their rings, LeBron being the finals MVP and securing their fourth ring. They versed a very tough and valiant Miami Heat that did have a lot of trouble in this series with injuries, but reality is the Lakers have overcome the obstacles and have put themselves in an NBA championship. What do you guys think about that? The Lakers have restored their legacy that has been lost for a few years. I think the last championship they won was in 2010, so it's been a long time for the Los Angeles Lakers. So it's good to see. It is good to see. Of course, I'm not a Lakers fan. Everybody knows I'm a Bulls fan. So and watching from the outside, looking in as a neutral, I was very excited to see this matchup. I did predict the Lakers would win in the finals, but I was hoping Jimmy Butler would end up getting his ring. Unfortunately, that was not going to be the case, and now we sit and Los Angeles Lakers are the NBA champions. Now, it's interesting. It's really, really interesting. And of course, the end of the season now, as we look forward to the next season, is getting one step closer. I think Bulls fans are majority very excited to see what will come for us next season. But of course, the Los Angeles Lakers have their time in the sun. And it's very memorable NBA championship as well. After all the circumstances behind this NBA championship, it's good to see that throughout everything that's happened, the NBA was still managed to go on, still managed to continue, and overall the winners were rightfully deserved at the end of the day. So there were a lot of competition for this, but again, people are going to say a lot of things. People are going to say LeBron James had it easy because of Anthony Davis, and people are going to say all this. At the end of the day, none of that matters. It really doesn't. The Los Angeles Lakers are the NBA champions, and I do think they deserved it. I mean, if you look at the teams that they could have versed in the NBA Finals, if you looked at the teams that they could have versed in the Western Conference Finals, and even to the extent the second round of the playoffs, so many circumstances where good teams didn't perform, but the Lakers did perform, and you can't fault them for that. You can't fault them for performing in the playoffs when no other team could. You can't fault them for not versing the Clippers. You can't fault them for not versing OKC, and you can't fault the Heat for making the NBA Finals when there were arguably better teams there that should have done it. But the reality is, this is great. This is great for the LA Lakers and its fans, and I do have to say congratulations to the franchise, one of the most iconic franchises of all time. And I think deep down, because of everything that did happen this year, and I will go further into it, I think a lot of people were rooting for the LA Lakers to win this NBA championship. But furthermore, let's discuss. So obviously, being a Chicago Bulls fan, I want to give a huge congratulations to Rajon Rondo for winning another NBA title. Now, I know Rondo wasn't a mainstay at Chicago, but he is a former Bull. So the fact is that I will sit here and congratulate Rajon Rondo because he's one of my favorite players who played for my favorite team, and I respect the hell out of Rajon Rondo, and I wished him nothing but the best when he left, and he's received another NBA championship and was one of the key areas, in my opinion, is the reason why they did win an NBA championship. Nothing but respect for Rajon Rondo. Congratulations. And of course, you have to give your congratulations to Anthony Davis. Now, since I'm not from Chicago, this might mean a little bit more to people from Chicago than me. But of course, when you're from Chicago, you have that you're honestly, people from Chicago, basketball players from Chicago are just different. They're just different. They're unique. They're quality. And Anthony Davis showed that, really did show that. And of course, you have to give congratulations to Chicago's own Anthony Davis. And yeah, nothing but respect for him as well. And hopefully down the line he can win many more. Hopefully it's with the Bulls, but of course, that's only time's going to tell. That's very unlikely, but you never know. Things can happen. I'm very, very happy for Anthony Davis and for the LA Lakers. In saying that, I want to wish my condolences to Jimmy Butler. Probably the one that is probably the most upsetting, to be honest, to see Jimmy Butler lose. Because obviously he was the main player on the Bulls. He was the star player for a long period of time here. And we gave up on Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler went to a different organization and took them to the NBA Finals, and nearly got to a Game 7 and nearly got his NBA championship. But of course, nearly doesn't cut it in the NBA. And I have nothing but respect for the effort that Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat did. I mean, it's a valiant effort, and I see a lot of respect going around for the Miami Heat, and I'm going to add to that. Miami Heat deserve so much respect for what they did. A bunch of first-G players took the Miami Heat to the NBA Finals alongside their leader and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler said it from the beginning. There's a bunch of ballers on this team, and those ballers ended up making the NBA Finals. And let's not forget who they beat as well. They beat a very, very, very good Indiana Pacers team. Swept them as well. Jimmy Butler versus the Indiana Pacers. It was a must-see series. And Jimmy Butler and the Heat took that away from the Indiana Pacers very, very quickly. They also versed a very good Milwaukee Bucks team. Unfortunately, Milwaukee did not perform, but you can't put all that on Milwaukee. Miami Heat defended them probably the best I've ever seen Milwaukee get defended, and that's, of course, Miami Heat. That's Jimmy Butler. And last but not least, they took the Celtics. They took out the Celtics, and honestly, the Celtics were probably the favorites for a lot of people to make it to the NBA Finals outside of the Bucks, and they took away the Celtics as well. They have had a spectacular road to get here. The biggest underdogs, in my opinion, in the NBA Finals in the Miami Heat versus the LA Lakers, and they took the LA Lakers to 6 games. Jimmy Butler took LA Lakers to 6 games. They didn't have Goran Dragic. They didn't have Bam Adebayo for the entire series, and they still managed to get to 6 games. It was a valiant effort from the Miami Heat, and my respect goes out to them. I would salute you guys. I do salute you guys. Absolutely tremendous. Again, I'm not a Miami Heat fan. I'll never be a Miami Heat fan, but you have to give your respects to that organization for the things that they've done. At the end of the day, you need to respect good teams, and Miami Heat is a good team, and they showed to be a lot more than what they are, at least in my eyes today. Looking back at it, they did so much right, and maybe we will see them there one day again, and maybe Jimmy Butler will get his ring. I'm rooting for Jimmy Butler, and I'm rooting for the Miami Heat to get better, and maybe we'll see them next year. But with that being said, let's move on to the champions. And I want to talk about LeBron James. Of course, LeBron James, for Chicago Bulls fans, is someone that we have basically grown up not to like, but I do not go with what other people say. I do not go with all of the Bulls fans that are saying you shouldn't like LeBron because of Michael Jordan. You shouldn't like LeBron because of his of the fact that people call him the GOAT. At the end of the day, what my opinions about LeBron and being the GOAT is irrelevant to this conversation, because at the end of the day, I don't agree that he's the GOAT. I don't agree LeBron James is the GOAT, but that doesn't mean that I can't like the player and I can't respect the player. And the guy has won his 4th NBA championship. The guy's been in multiple finals. Basically, since I started watching basketball, I've seen LeBron James in the finals nearly every single year. So the respect is there. I've always respected LeBron James, and I always will respect LeBron James. And I do think he's one of the top 5, if not top 3 best players in the world. It's not that hard to debate. It really isn't. And I'm very happy to see him win another championship. I don't hate LeBron James, and I never have. And I guess what I'm trying to say here is I want everybody to succeed, man. I want the best players to succeed in this league. And I'm very happy to see LeBron James get his 4th NBA championship, get his 4th Finals MVP, which I still feel like a lot of people will also debate if he really did deserve the Finals MVP. But the fact is that he got it. And the Lakers will be sitting pretty today. And there's more. Obviously, being in an NBA bubble, Very tough, very tough. I can't imagine being in an NBA bubble away from my family, away from everybody for several months to play basketball. I know it's their job and that's what they're required to do, and I know at a certain extent there were a lot of people that were allowed to bring their family and that really boosted them, but for a long time they weren't allowed to. That's very difficult. For basically the entire time they were stuck. I know it's a luxury resort and it's basically paradise over there, but being stuck in one place for too long, I think everybody can agree, it gets kind of tiring. It gets physically draining to be in one place. I mean, I'm in lockdown at the moment. I've been in my house for God knows how long, and it's physically draining, even though there's no reason for it to be. It is. And I feel like the basketball players will probably feel the same. But the reality is, this is definitely one of the hardest championships for the Los Angeles Lakers to win. And it's definitely going to be one of the most memorable championships the Los Angeles Lakers will ever win. I don't know if we'll ever see a circumstance like this again. I don't know if we're going to be in an NBA bubble next year for the entire year. I don't see that happening. I see the NBA starting within their own fan bases, within Chicago, within LA, within Miami. Everybody's going to have their own home and away games. Maybe there's limited crowds, but I don't think you'll ever see something like an NBA bubble for quite some time. And the season itself has been so incredibly strange. And you give criticisms to a bunch of teams that didn't perform, as I mentioned before. But the LA Lakers, LeBron James, Anthony Davis have performed above them all. And they're sitting pretty with the NBA championship. And of course, last but not least, I want to talk about Kobe Bryant, because how could you not talk about the LA Lakers without talking about Kobe Bryant? There was a beautiful video outside of LA of a bunch of people outside of their houses screaming for Kobe, screaming for the Mamba. And it's beautiful to see. And again, it's another reason why I'm very happy that the Lakers won the championship. I'm not calling scripting. I'm not calling any of this bull, because at the end of the day, it's a very well-earned championship. I don't care what the competition that they versed. I don't care if it was easier for them because Clippers didn't perform, or the Denver Nuggets didn't perform against them, and stuff like that. The Rockets, like, I don't care. They deserve that NBA championship, and it makes it even better knowing that so many people across the world, not just LA Lakers fans, but I think across the world, will be thinking about Kobe Bryant today and how the LA Lakers did it for him. And it's been like that for a long time. So congratulations. All I can say is congratulations on the new NBA champions, the Los Angeles Lakers. Cemented yet another one. One of the best franchises in NBA history, statistically, with players. The LA Lakers are always expected to be up the top, and I don't think they expect anything but the best. And this season they got the best, and they will be celebrating this one just as much as all the others that they've won, maybe even more, knowing what this one really meant to their legacy. I just want one more thing to say before I leave. I want to say that as NBA fans, it's sometimes when you pick your favorites, you get very toxic and defensive. And I love Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan is my GOAT, and he will always be my GOAT. I don't care how many championships LeBron wins, but that doesn't mean that we can't learn to like and even respect other players. And I really, really want to get this across, because I'm breaking a boundary that will probably get me a lot of hate here, because Michael Jordan fans and Chicago Bulls fans will probably, I'll probably get attacked for this, but the fact is, it's not abnormal to hate LeBron. Like, I like LeBron, and maybe that goes against the grain, but it's something that you should respect. I want more NBA fans to respect players, no matter how good or bad they are, when they do something incredible. And yeah, look, I'm never gonna make a GOAT video. I'm never gonna make who's the GOAT, MJ or LeBron. I'm not gonna make any of those videos, because I don't believe that I need to talk about it, because I respect both players. And LeBron's in my lifetime, and I'm going to enjoy him while he's here, because that's all I can do. He's a great player. I'm happy he's got his 4th ring. And let's see what he can do in the NBA Finals next season if he makes it. Maybe things change. Who knows? Maybe the Clippers do come back with a bigger and better team. Maybe the Nuggets will decide to step up and go for it all. Maybe we do have the Houston Rockets switching things up. Maybe we do have the Utah Jazz that will finally step over the hump and get through to the Western Conference Finals. Over to the Heat side, what are the Milwaukee Bucks going to do? They're going to have Giannis for one more year. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what the Milwaukee Bucks are going to do in this NBA next season. What will Miami do? Will Miami make it back to the finals? Will Boston feel so upset that they didn't get into the NBA Finals that they're going to try and improve, and then they're going to have their players step up? Who's gonna make it? What will Chicago do? We will be in the playoffs next season. There is so much more now to answer for next season, but for the Lakers, they could just take it easy now, knowing that they've got a few months of being the ones that are the NBA champions. It's one of the rarest feelings in the NBA, and I still have yet to feel that in my lifetime. So maybe one day that will happen for me, but for the LA Lakers fans, I'm very happy it's happened for you. Have a wonderful day, guys. I'll see you in another video. Next season is going to be the Bulls season. I'm calling it now. Take care and peace.